My name is Aaliyah Carter. I turned 31 the night my family tried to erase me. We were sitting in this little soul food restaurant I paid for. My mother, Denise. My father, Leonard. My brother, Marcus. His wife. All of them eating on my bill, smiling like we were normal. Then I heard my mother lean toward Marcus and whisper real soft, "While everybody's here, go change her locks." I froze. My father didn't even blink. He just said, "Do it after dessert." Like that was nothing. Like I was a child they were about to put on punishment. Marcus got up, grabbed his keys, and left. It was still my birthday cake on the table. I was still holding the knife. I told myself, "Don't react. Don't give her a show." An hour later, Marcus came back. He looked pale. "Well?" my mother asked. "Did you do it?" He swallowed. "There's police tape around her door." The whole table went silent. My phone buzzed, unknown number. "Miss Carter, this is Detective Miles Turner with Atlanta PD. Please call immediately regarding your apartment." That was all I needed. I stood up. I didn't hug nobody. I didn't take the cake. I left. Outside it had started raining. That heavy Atlanta summer rain that hits your face hard. My hands were shaking so bad I dropped my keys twice before I got in the car. Change her locks. Why? Why would my own mother try to lock me out of my own place on my birthday? I'm grown. I pay my rent. I raise my son, Jalen. I'm not a teenager. But to her, I don't have a life. I'm something to control. When I turned down my block, I saw the red and blue lights from almost 2 streets away. 2 squad cars. My stomach dropped. I pulled halfway onto the curb, jumped out, and ran. There was an officer standing under the awning outside my building holding an umbrella. He looked up fast. "Ma'am, can I?" "This is my apartment," I said. "I'm Aaliyah Carter. You just texted me." His face changed, softer. "Miss Carter, I'm Detective Turner. Can we step out the rain a second?" "My brother said there's tape on my door," I said. "What happened? Where's my son's stuff?" He let out a slow breath. "We got a call about possible forced entry into Unit 2C. That's you. Your front lock is destroyed, bedroom doors busted in. We did a sweep. TV's still there, laptop's still there, nothing looks stolen." "So it wasn't a robbery," I said. He shook his head. "It doesn't look like that." My throat felt dry. "My brother has a key," I said quietly. "My mother told him to come change my locks. He didn't break in." "Your brother didn't," he said. "He's the one who called us, said he used his key, saw the door already busted, and backed out." I stared at him. "Marcus called the police." "Marcus." "So who broke in?" I asked. Right then his radio cracked. "Detective Turner, we ran partials from the bedroom door. We got a match, suspect already in custody, picked up 2 blocks away holding tools." Turner's whole face changed, tighter. He looked back at me. "Miss Carter," he said quietly, "you might want to prepare yourself. Just tell me. The prints in your bedroom belonged to a man named Reginald Collins." For a second I felt sick. "Reggie, I know him," I said. "That's my landlord's nephew. He fixes stuff in the building." "Yeah," Turner said. "We know who he is." My skin went cold. "He's got a master key to everybody's apartment." "That's the thing," Turner said. "He didn't use a master. We got hallway footage. He used a copied key to get in. Then he took a crowbar and forced your bedroom door." "Not the front door. Your bedroom door." My stomach turned. "My bedroom?" I whispered. "Why my bedroom?" "We're trying to figure that out," he said. "When we grabbed him, he still had the crowbar in his backpack. So this wasn't random." I swallowed. "I need to see my place. Technically, we're still processing." "It's my home," I said. "Please." He studied me, then nodded. "Stay with me. Don't touch anything." We went upstairs. The front door frame was split, wood everywhere. The lock was bent sideways, but inside, nothing was thrown. The living room looked almost normal. Jalen's backpack still hanging on the chair, his little sneakers by the couch. It felt wrong anyway. The kind of wrong you feel in your body. Then I walked to my bedroom. My door was almost off the hinges. The whole frame was cracked. I stepped in. He hadn't stolen my laptop. He hadn't touched my jewelry. He hadn't opened drawers. He did one thing. Every single picture of me and my son was flipped face down. Jalen's first day of school. Jalen dressed like Black Panther last Halloween. Me holding him as a baby. All turned over. Not broken, turned. Like a message. Something in my chest started shaking. This wasn't about money. This was personal. Then I saw it. A small white envelope sitting on my nightstand. No name. No address. "Detective," I whispered. "That wasn't there before." He pulled on gloves, opened it, and read what was inside. His jaw flexed. He showed me. It was one typed sentence. Tell your mama the truth always comes home. I just stared. Not tell Aaliyah. Tell your mama. That's when everything clicked. My mother didn't tell Marcus, change her locks to help me. She sent him to go in my apartment and get something out before anybody else saw it. But Reggie got here first. And this wasn't a burglary. This was a warning. Turner looked at me. Aaliyah, he said slowly, what does that mean? My mouth was dry. My heart was beating too fast. I knew what it meant. Because a month ago at my parents' house, I found something I wasn't supposed to see. A box of Carter Holdings files. Paperwork with my name on it. Condo deeds. Bank statements. Accounts overseas, all in my name, with my signature. Only the signature wasn't mine. My parents had been hiding money under my identity. They used me like a shell, like cover. Now they knew I'd seen it. Now they were scared. Now my own mama had paid a man $5,000 to break into my home and get those documents out of my hands. And when he couldn't, he left a message for her. Tell your mama the truth always comes home. I swallowed hard. I looked at Detective Turner. My mother, I said quietly, is in something dirty, and she just dragged me into it. They wouldn't let me stay in my apartment that night. Not with the door busted. Not with some man I barely know forcing his way into my bedroom. Not with a note left on my nightstand like a threat. I took my son Jalen to my best friend Tasha's place. I told her, something happened, I just need him here tonight. She didn't even ask questions. Bring him, she said. You too. That night I didn't sleep. I just laid on her couch in the dark, replaying it over and over. Go change her locks. Police tape. Every photo of me and my child flipped face down. Tell your mama the truth always comes home. By morning I had 9 missed calls. 7 from my mother, Denise. 1 from Marcus. 1 from an unknown number. There was a voicemail. I pressed play. Miss Carter, this is Detective Turner. I'm calling with an update. We pulled financials on Collins. There was a recent transfer to his account, $5,000. The transfer came from an account in the name of Denise Carter. Memo line said maintenance. Given the note and the entry to your bedroom, our working theory is that your mother paid Mr. Collins to enter your apartment and retrieve specific documents. Call me back. I just sat there holding the phone. My mother paid a man to break into my home. Not rumor, not maybe, not I think. Money trail. And that change her locks story? Fake. Marcus wasn't coming to protect me. He was sent to go in and get whatever she was scared I had. Only her little handyman got there first, and left a message telling her he now had leverage. That's when I stopped being scared and got angry, because this wasn't just about money. She let a man into my son's space. She let him walk into my bedroom. She let him touch my child's pictures. That's not a mother move. That's a criminal move. I called Detective Turner back. It's Aaliyah, I said. My voice didn't even shake this time. I know what he was looking for. Okay, he said. Talk to me. I have the papers my parents were hiding under my name, I said. Property, accounts, signatures that aren't mine, I have copies. Silence for 2 beats. Then, bring them in, today. I went back to my apartment in daylight after they'd put a temporary lock on the door. I pulled out the folder I had hidden in the back of my closet. The fake trust in my name, the condo deeds, the offshore account info, everything with my signature that I never signed. And I brought something else. The recording. Because after I left the station the first night, I texted my mother and told her to come to my place. I needed to look her in the face. I needed to hear her lie to me to my face. When she showed up, she walked in like she was still in charge. You shouldn't have called the police, she said. You shouldn't have hired a man to break into my apartment, I said. She tried to play dumb. I hired that boy to fix your dishwasher. He must have kept the key. Detectives pulled the transfer, Mama, I said. $5,000. Memo maintenance. Her face changed then. Not sad. Not sorry. Scared. Then angry. You don't understand what you're messing with, she snapped. You think you're smart. You're gonna ruin this whole family. Your father built something for us and you're trying to tear it down. For us, I said. Y'all put crimes in my name. That's when she dropped it. The threat I always knew she held. I will make you give me those papers, she said. How? I asked. Her eyes went cold. You got a son, she said. You got a job. You barely holding it together. All that can disappear, Aaliyah. I can call child services and tell them you're unstable. I can tell them you're involved in fraud. Who they gonna believe? Me or you? I can have Jalen out your house by tomorrow morning. That was it. That was my line. Because understand, she wasn't yelling in anger, she was calm. She said it like a plan. In that moment, I stopped being her daughter, and I started being Jalen's mother. She had no idea my phone was in my hand, recording the entire thing. Her threat, her admission, her motive. I saved that file. Now I sat in a small, cold interview room at the police station across from Detective Turner. No windows, metal table, fluorescent light. He was in plain clothes now, not his jacket. He looked tired but focused. He opened the folder I brought and saw my forged signature under property I never knew existed. His expression changed. "Aaliyah," he said quietly. "This is not small." "I know," I said. "This is fraud, tax evasion, identity theft, conspiracy. And that recording?" He tapped my phone. "That's attempted coercion and a custody threat. That's leverage." He leaned forward. "I need to ask you something," he said. "Before we go further, are you sure you want to do this?" I thought about my bedroom door hanging off one hinge. I thought about a grown man flipping my son's school photos face down like a warning. I thought about my mother saying, "I can have Jalen gone by tomorrow." "Yes," I said, "I'm doing this." We listened to the recording together. Him, silent. Me, clenching my hands under the table so I wouldn't shake. When it ended, he sat back and let out a slow breath. "This," he said, "is airtight." Then he told me what would happen. He said they were turning it over to financial crimes and the DA's office. He said they were filing for warrants. He said my parents would be investigated on paper, not just in the house. And then he said something I didn't know I needed to hear. "Aaliyah," he said, "you're not the one in trouble here. You are the victim of identity fraud. You're the witness. You are not the suspect. You are protected." I didn't answer right away, because I felt that all the way down. My whole life, my mother made me feel like everything was my fault. If she yelled, it was my fault. If my father lied, it was my fault. If Marcus got special treatment, it was because I made them worry. In a police station, somebody finally said out loud, "This wasn't you." Before I left, he looked me dead in the face and said, "Listen to me. If they call you, if they text you, if they show up at your door, do not meet them alone. Send it to me. If your mother shows up talking about let's talk like family, you do not open that door. You call 911. You understand me?" For once I did, because I finally understood who Denise actually was. Not strict, not complicated, not protective. Dangerous. After that day, everything went quiet, and waiting for the fallout was worse than anything. The fallout didn't hit loud. It hit slow. People think you turn evidence in, police move, everybody's in handcuffs by sunset. Real life doesn't move like TV. Real life drags. Days went by where nothing happened, but I couldn't breathe right. I still took Jalen to school. I still clocked in at work. I still bought groceries like I wasn't sitting on top of a bomb, but I jumped every time my phone buzzed. I barely slept. Every sound in the hallway made me think Denise was outside my door with that fake soft voice, "Baby, open up so we can talk." 3 weeks later, the bomb finally landed. I was at work when my phone lit up with a local news alert. The headline said, "Atlanta couple under investigation for identity fraud and tax evasion. Daughter listed as victim." Right under that line was a smiling picture of my parents from some charity banquet, looking like pillar of the community, and a little cropped work photo of me. Victim. Seeing that word in print did something to me. I don't even like the word, but in that moment it meant, they're not pinning this on you. My office phone rang. HR. "Aaliyah, can you stop by?" I walked past desks and I could feel people looking but pretending not to. That fake "I'm not staring" stare. I sat down in HR. She folded her hands and said, "Careful. We saw the coverage. The article says you're the victim here. We just want you to know your job is safe. If you need time, take time." That shouldn't have hit me, but it did. Because when you grow up in a house where everything is somehow your fault, "you're not in trouble" feels like oxygen. I left work early. I drove to Jalen's school and just sat in the parking lot 2 hours before dismissal. I wasn't even there to pick him up yet. I just needed to be near him. After that, everything moved fast. My father stepped down from his little consulting firm for personal reasons. My mother vanished off social media. All the "my family is my blessing" posts? Gone. blocked, deleted, like she was trying to erase the version of herself she sold to everyone. And all those family friends that used to hug me at holidays and say, "Girl, you know we love you like our own?" Silent. Nobody called to ask if I was okay. Nobody asked if I needed food. Nobody said, "Do you and Jalen feel safe?" Silence will tell you who's real. Tasha was real. She showed up with groceries and said, "You're eating. I don't care if you ain't hungry." 1 week after the story broke publicly, I got the text I knew was coming. "Marcus, you ruined us." That was the first line. "You ruined everything. Daddy is sick. They might take the house. Hope you feel good. I will never forgive you." Not one word about Reggie in my bedroom. Not one word about our mama threatening to take my child. Not one word about my name being used for fake property and offshore money. Just, "You ruined us." That was the last piece of hope in me dying, because deep down, I always thought one day Marcus would finally pick me. He never did. Even now, he chose them. I didn't reply. Not then. Not ever. A few days later, my phone rang. "Aaliyah, this is Turner." I stood up so fast my chair slid. "Yeah, I'm here." "Two things," he said. "One, charges have been officially filed. Fraud, identity theft, conspiracy. Attempted custodial interference. It's moving forward." My heart was pounding. "Two," he said. "Listen to me on this part. You've been legally cleared. You are recognized as the victim of identity fraud and attempted coercion. You are not being charged with anything. Your status going forward is witness. You are protected." I didn't even realize I was crying until I tasted salt. "Thank you," I whispered. "You did the right thing," he said. "I've worked cases like this a long time. A lot of people stay quiet because it's family. You didn't. That's not small." When we hung up, I just stood in my kitchen, same little apartment, same cheap cabinets, same secondhand table, but everything felt different. All my life, quiet in the house meant danger. Quiet meant Mama's mad. Watch what you say. This quiet isn't fear. It was peace. For the first time in my life, the silence in my home belonged to me. 6 months later, it was over. Not movie over. Real life over. My parents both took plea deals. My father, Leonard, I did it for the family, Carter, admitted to using my name to hide money, signing my name on property and accounts I didn't know existed, and moving money to avoid taxes. He pled guilty. He got 2 years in a low-security facility. Not hard time, but for a man who spent his whole life acting untouchable and calling me irresponsible, 2 years of being told when to sit down felt right. My mother, Denise, did what Denise always does. She tried to land on her feet. She told them she was just scared as a mother. She told them she only hired that man to get sensitive papers back. She painted herself like she was protecting her family from me. But the DA had my recording. Her threatening to call CPS on me. Her saying she could have Jalen gone by tomorrow. Her trying to force me to hand over evidence. They charged her with conspiracy, attempted coercion, and attempted custodial interference. She didn't go to prison, but she didn't walk away clean. She got 5 years probation, a huge fine, mandatory financial monitoring, and a court order saying she cannot contact me or Jalen at all. Not maybe give each other space. Court ordered violated and she's locked up. I did not go sit in court and watch them pretend to be sorry. I didn't need to hear Denise talk about my daughter like I was her heartbreak, when I was just her cover story. Turner told me what happened. That was enough. After that, the noise died. And my life got small, in a good way. I picked up Jalen from a checkup one afternoon. He ran out the exam room grinning, holding a gold star sticker. "Mama, I got brave points," he said. "I ain't even cried at the shot." I scooped him up. "You didn't cry? Wow, you tougher than me." He laughed, that gappy 6-year-old laugh. He smelled like hand soap and lollipops. "You know what you are?" I told him. "You're brave." I said it out loud because nobody ever said that to me. We went home and I made dinner. Nothing fancy, roasted chicken, rice, broccoli. My apartment smelled warm. Tasha came over. My friend from work, Maria, came over. Jalen had ginger ale in a regular glass and felt like he was at a 5-star restaurant. We sat at my tiny table, and it felt like family in the way family is supposed to feel. No tension, no control. No pretending. Just peace. Tasha lifted her glass and said, "I want to make a toast." Jalen lifted his cup too, serious. "To freedom," she said. Maria nodded. "To freedom." I raised mine. The word sat in my chest like heat. Freedom didn't mean rich. Freedom didn't mean fancy. Freedom didn't mean everything's easy now. Freedom meant, nobody in this room is threatening to take my son. Nobody in this room is lying to my face. Nobody in this room is using my name as a crime scene. To not apologizing for protecting myself, I said. Tasha tapped her glass to mine. Amen. After dinner, Jalen fell asleep on the couch mid-cartoon, one sock halfway off. I tucked a blanket over him. Later, me and Tasha sat with the last of the cheap wine. She looked at me. How you doing, for real? I sighed. I feel weird, I said. Some days I feel like I don't have parents anymore. Like I'm just out here floating alone. Tasha shook her head. No, you're not alone. You're the first branch. I frowned. What does that mean? It means the tree before you was sick, she said. You cut it. Now you're the first clean piece growing forward. You're not nobody's child. You're the start. That hit me so deep I couldn't even speak for a second, because I had spent my whole life feeling like I was the problem in the story. But I wasn't the problem. I was the break in the cycle. The next morning, I woke up before Jalen. The apartment was quiet. Not that nervous quiet I grew up in. Real quiet. I made coffee and watched the sun come in through the blinds. For once, the day did not feel like a threat. There was one last thing I had to do. In the back of my closet, taped behind an old coat, I had kept one original document, the first fake Aaliyah R. Carter Property Trust with my forged signature. I'd given police copies of everything, but I kept that original page. It was my insurance, my just in case, my fear. I took it down. I held it for a long time. Then I slid it into a plain white envelope. On the front I wrote, Fulton County District Attorney, Financial Crimes. No note. No drama. Not for revenge. For release. I walked 2 blocks to the blue mailbox on the corner in the morning air, which still smelled like last night's rain. I held the envelope over the slot and whispered, This ends here. I let it drop. That sound, paper hitting metal, felt like something leaving my body. When I got back home, Jalen was at the table, hair wild, eyes sleepy. Mama, he yawned, can we have pancakes? With the chocolate chips? Yes, I said, smiling. We can. He grinned, missing tooth and all. That grin right there? That's my inheritance. That's my legacy. That's my bloodline starting clean. Not stolen money in my name. Not silence. Not fear. Him. This life. While I mixed batter, he dragged a chair over to help, dropping eggshell everywhere, talking non-stop. Sunlight was coming through my kitchen window, catching dust in the air like glitter. And I realized something. For the first time in my entire life, I felt safe. Not quiet because I'm scared safe. Safe. Because nobody owns me anymore. Because my son is mine. Because the cycle stopped with me. Because this house, this little, regular, warm apartment, is honest. And honest beats rich. Every single time. Let me leave you with this. People love to say, but that's still your mother. Like that sentence is supposed to trap you. Here's what I learned. Some people use family the way other people use weapons. My mother didn't threaten to take my child because she loved me. She threatened to take my child because she loved control. My father didn't put property in my name because he wanted to bless me. He did it because he wanted to hide. And when I finally said, I'm not covering this anymore, everybody acted like I set fire to the house. But I didn't burn that house. I just refused to keep living in the smoke. Listen to me, because somebody needs to hear this the way I needed to hear it. You are allowed to protect yourself, even from the people who raised you. You are allowed to say, no, I'm not keeping this secret. You are allowed to say, you don't get access to me anymore. You are allowed to say, you will not use my child to control me. You are allowed to be done. That's not betrayal. That's survival. They'll call you dramatic, ungrateful, disloyal, evil, selfish. But when somebody is willing to destroy your life to protect theirs, that's not love. That's danger. And walking away from danger is never wrong. Here's what I have now. A small apartment with locks that only I control. My son safe, smiling, loud, happy. Friends who show up when it's ugly, not just when it looks good online. A name that belongs to me again. Peace that nobody can hold over my head. I didn't end up rich. I didn't get applause. Marcus didn't text, I'm sorry, I was wrong. My parents did not hug me in tears and say they've changed. That fairy tale ending never came. You know what I got instead? Silence that doesn't scare me. A kitchen that feels like mine. A future that starts with me and my son. Clean. Tasha was right. I'm not alone. I'm the first branch. And that is where Aaliyah's story ends. Not with apologies. Not with a perfect family reunion, but with peace, freedom, and a future that finally belongs to her and her son. So tell me, did Aaliyah do the right thing, or should she have stayed quiet because they were family? Drop your thoughts in the comments, subscribe for more powerful revenge and redemption stories, and tell me the city you're watching from. Thank you for watching, and remember, sometimes peace is the strongest revenge.